everyone. I'm Brent from Electric Moon, otherwise known as Arthur Autumn. Good to see everyone here today. Welcome to the Artist to Artist show. For those of you tuning in for the very first time, we have artists on, we have songwriters, painters, actors, and the whole idea is we have a conversation with these people that I admire greatly, and we talk about the creative process, our muse, what inspires us the most, how we do it, how we come up with things, and our whole process. So it's a fun little show we call Artist to Artist. Welcome to season 2. Tonight, without further ado, we have a fantastic guest this evening. I'm so excited about this. We're kind of new friends, but I've had Deb Morrison on my radar for quite some time. I'm a big fan. Ladies and gentlemen, we introduce Deb Morrison. How are you, Deb?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you for having me. Hi.
So I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah. Now, where are you located? It looks like a very cozy songwriting cabin. Where are you?
Well, I'm located in my house in Altadena, kind of at the foothills of the San Gabriel's over here, up north of Pasadena.
Yeah.
And freezing in here. I mean,
Is
freezing
it?
for California freezing, but it's cozy. It's cozy.
Yeah, the temperatures dropped quite a bit.
I know. It's crazy that people complain about the weather. Honestly, I don't complain. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, but it's
Yeah.
cold in here. It kind of always stays cold in here. So I'm kind
Yeah.
of digging.
Yeah, I can't complain. I can't complain. That could be
Yeah.
a very good first question. As a writer, do you find that your environment plays a role in what comes out of you, what you compose?
Oh, that's such a good question. Oh,
Like, let's say you're in
absolutely.
Hawaii, or you're in Scotland, or you're in Brooklyn, or you're in a cabin, or you're at the ocean.
Yeah.
Give me two things. Two things. Where is your ideal place to write? And do you think it really affects what comes out? Like we have, the Beach Boys, and we have, Soundgarden, where it's rainy and cold.
Yeah.
How do you think that plays into what we create?
Oh, I think that it absolutely plays into what we create. I mean, at least what I create anyway. And it also depends on what's going on, not just your physical environment, but what's happening in the world, or your state of mind, or your love life, or your family, or something that's happened to you, that all ties into that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Would
Yeah.
you prefer writing in, say, Hawaii, or would you prefer writing in Brooklyn in the cold, in the wintertime? Is there
Okay.
a place you would prefer?
Well, if you're giving me the choice of Brooklyn or Hawaii, I'm gonna say Hawaii.
Yeah,
Uh, um, but I am definitely a nature girl. So if it's going to be a cabin or somewhere that's remote that is ties in with nature, then yeah, you got me. You got me there.
yeah, yeah. I think as an artist, for me personally, I try not to get too comfortable. Like I can't get too comfortable, or it just doesn't. I have to be a little bit on edge somehow. Like it's always weird when you're recording in the studio and it's dark and it's vibey, and then you go outside and it's bright sunshine.
Yeah.
That's weird for me. I never feel more like a vampire than then. It's just like, no, stop, get me back in. Where's my notebook? But
uh,
it's kind of weird. I think as writers, as composers, I think it plays a big role in what we create. And I think, again, if you take a band like Soundgarden, and then you take the Beach Boys, or the Ramones, what came out of them was reflective of where they're at, or the Laurel Canyon scene.
oh, absolutely. I totally agree with that, and I think it plays a huge role
Yeah,
in sound and the vibe of the whole thing. It depends on where you're at. I love being on the road, so I love being places, and that wherever I am, it definitely inspires whatever it is I'm writing. So
yeah. Do you like to write on the road as you go?
I do. I find that is most inspiring to me. Wherever it is that I'm at, or that particular place is definitely a trigger. You know.
Great. Yeah. Now tell me a little bit about your songwriting process. Is there a way that you go about it? Is there a time that you go about it? Is there an instrument that, do you run to the piano or do you pick up the guitar or bass in your
Yeah.
case? Is there a method that of how it comes, like lyric first, music first? How does it happen for you?
Yeah, it's a combination for me actually. Sometimes I'll just be playing either the bass or guitar or a little bit of whatever it is I'm playing at the time, and it'll come to me then. And
Mhm.
other times it will just be literally on the road. I'm driving, I hum something, I pull out my phone and I record it. And those voice memos have just been such a
Yeah,
modern technology lifesaver.
yeah,
Or I'll be hiking, or I'll be somewhere. I'll be in a
yeah.
truck, wherever it is. Sometimes if it, I have my headphones in most of the time, so usually it depends. And sometimes I will be structured and set I'll set a practice time, and then I'll be sitting there, and it comes to me, and I've got my computer, and I'll have a
Great.
chord progression and make it happen, and that way. So it really just depends.
Yeah, the phones are a lifesaver. If I'm at a venue or I'm at a show or something, I misplace my phone. The first thing I think of is, oh my God, all those songs.
Yeah,
All those ideas. That's the very first thing because it's like a long scroll of, they're not fully formed songs, but you get an idea, and I have because I'm the kind of guy that the Beatles used to say that if you can't, because back then they didn't have recorders like at their disposal back in the 60s, that are close by. And McCartney said recently, he's like, we would know if the song was any good is if we remembered it in the morning.
yeah,
And if they didn't remember it in the morning, a lot of times they threw it out because, they said, well, it's not, she loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Who's not gonna remember that? So that was their way of figuring out if it passed the test,
yeah.
So
Earworm or not, so to speak.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I remember using cassette recorders and, all that kind of stuff
yeah,
way back in the day. And I'm so, as much as I hate modern technology, I do like it for that reason. I find that the voice memos on the phone are really handy no matter where I'm at.
oh yeah,
A myriad of reasons, and I can just, go in there and dictate lyrical ideas I have, or sing a chorus that comes into my mind, and super, super helpful.
yeah. Or even just recording a rehearsal if you're,
Oh yeah,
having a jam with somebody. It's like, okay, what was that bit? Let's track that really quick. It's just, technology is uh it's a tricky thing. I think it's given us a lot, and it helps the world go round, and it's
yeah,
also destroying us at the same time. I mean,
absolutely,
so
absolutely, yeah,
it's a very delicate place to be. You want to kind of be in the center where you want to use it for good and make life a little bit easier and not let it destroy us at the same time. So, and I think with the pandemic, it kind of taught us a lot, even doing these Zoom things. I know people stumbled, and I still stumble with it and figuring it all out, but it's been a resource. It's been a resource for the arts and for improvement. So it's, to catch 22, right?
it really is. I mean, it really is, especially during the pandemic. It was strange to do and make music and try to create, or
Yeah,
wonder if we were ever going to be able to create again, because you felt like, oh my God, to me music is just, my favorite thing to do is just to get in this room with everybody live and just jam it out old school. And
yeah,
I couldn't imagine not being able to make music with other people.
yeah,
And that was because it's such a connection, and musically
yeah,
everybody in this room playing together is just nothing you can recreate,
yeah,
virtually. It just wasn't the same. And I tried a lot of things during that time period to connect virtually and do this kind of thing like we're doing right now. And
yeah,
it was disheartening, as I thought,
yeah,
oh my God, you just cannot get, that's the reason you play it. You know what I mean? 'Cause you're in
yeah,
that room, you're like, oh, you just hit that thing, and oh, it's just,
yeah.
that feeling is not recreatable virtually, in my opinion. So super happy that all that is behind us for the most part,
Yeah.
and actually get into a room together and make music.
Yeah, I just got the chills thinking about that. I recall our first show was back was on the 4th of July. We Actually, we'd done a private party, but that doesn't really count. But our first major show back was the 4th of July, and I just remember just feeling like, oh my God, I'm always so grateful to perform and with my friends and for people and to play music, but I just remember the feelings in my heart, my soul were just intensified by like 80%, and it just felt like we were kind of lifting off the ground. It was just amazing, I think it's the whole pandemic, if we paid attention a little bit, it like taught us a lot to now, so then when we return a little bit, you appreciate things 100 times more. So
Oh yeah, a lot of things. It was a
yeah,
very reflective time, let's put it that way, among other
very.
things. But
Did you
as
write a
far
lot during the pandemic? Did you write a lot, Deb, during that period?
I did, well, there was a portion of time where I thought, you know what, I'm just going to try to make the best of this time
Yeah,
and get a bunch of shit done
yeah,
that I couldn't do before or never had time to do because I was always running around. And then there were times where I was so bummed out. I just didn't feel it in my
yeah.
heart to create that way. And it frustrated me. And I know I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of other musicians. The same thing. I was just like, I just don't feel like doing it. And
Yeah.
so I would garden, or I would plant, or those kinds of things. And I thought, when is it going to come? This is a great time to be able to really write material. And then something clicked at one point, and I decided, I think I'm gonna just record that record and just
Great.
go for it somehow, even though we're not all in one room together, because why are we waiting? I mean,
Yeah,
and who knows at that time, who knows how long this is gonna go on, and
yeah,
what are we waiting for? And
yeah,
so then I just kind of crammed it out. And
yeah,
but you have to feel it.
yeah,
If you're not in the mode of doing it, it's really hard.
yeah. I kind of used it as to work through the feelings, the fear. I mean, that's a beautiful thing about being an artist and musician. That's a beautiful thing about, doing the work with Electric Moon Foundation. Is I tell these kids, I said, hey, this right here will be your best friend, and
Yeah.
it will always be there for you when you need to talk to it and make some noise out of it. It's always going to be there in your notebooks, So I had to turn to it to just process, and I was getting songs from my the band at the time, and so I had the pressure of like, okay, now you've got this stockpile of Overlord songs, work on them. So I felt that pressure, like you do it now, and so a lot of it was just to process the crazy world we were going through, and that's the gift that we have to be able to do that, and that's why it's such a gift, because a lot of people don't have that outlet,
Yeah,
so
it's true. Yeah.
yeah, so we're very lucky. And then also I used it as kind of like a songwriting tool. Like I've heard Nick Cave, for instance, he'll write from like 8 to 5, like a normal job. He'll put on his little black sport coat and he'll go to a designated place away from the family and all that. And he'll write, and then he'll go home. And I'm like,
Right.
that's great, because this is what we do, is our craft. So I go lock myself in a room, and not every day did we get something any good. A lot of times it's rubbish or it's terrible. But if you get that one line in a verse or that hook in the chorus, and then I just set aside and I go for a walk or go for a hike or something. And then I eventually, after, a month goes on, it's like, oh man, we're still in this pandemic. I keep writing. Excuse me. So by the second month, it started to come a little bit easier, because your brain is just like a muscle, like any other muscle. So if you're working it, you're using it, it comes a lot easier. And then all of a sudden, wow, this stuff is improving. The suck ratio isn't so high right now. The terrible ratio, the throwouts aren't so high. So I kind of use it as, just to process what was happening in the world, and just a tool, just kind of just keep working, trying.
I think it's great. I think what you're doing with the Electric Moon Foundation is a really beautiful thing. And it is true, not everybody has a creative outlet, but I think everyone has an outlet of some sort. And I think it's important for them to realize whatever that is, whether it's painting or whatever it is that you do where no one's telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Um, be able to make use of that.
No right or wrong answer.
No right or wrong answer, whatever
Same
that is,
math.
art or something else, whether
Yeah.
you, whatever it is that you do. I think it's important to tap into that kind of thing. And I think the pandemic and during that time period where we're all shut down was a good time to,
Explore.
I feel lucky that I have creative outlets, but I think it was a good time of reflection for everybody to figure out what
Yeah.
makes them tick when they don't have the pressures of some other stuff on the outside pushing in on you, making you do stuff,
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So
We
there
were,
were,
in a way,
yeah.
we were free, but we were not free. You know,
Well, that's
it,
true.
there's a little bit of both. There's probably a song in there, but
Yeah, yeah, many.
yeah, hundreds, thousands. But we can save that songwriting session for another time, Deb. But,
Yeah.
hey, do you paint as well? I know Tawny, our friend Tawny, she does some sculpting and things like that. Do you paint or anything like that? What do you?
I am a picture taker, so I'm a
Oh,
photographer.
that's right.
I'm definitely a visual. I love making videos. I love shooting, and that
Yeah.
would be my painting of choice. You know, um, and I love seeing. I love Tawny and my friends who are creative artists in that way. Watching what they do and to do many things.
Yeah.
Besides just music, it's really a beautiful thing to see, and it all kind of comes together. I find anyway visually. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about your photography. What kind of I haven't seen a lot of your work. I'm so sorry. Pardon my manners, but
No, no.
photography are you up to exactly?
Well, I do a lot of music photography and portraits and a lot of documentary style stuff, and I love it. It all marries together with me, for me visually, and a lot of videos I do for my music, I'm involved in all of that part of it. So I really enjoy them. To me, it's not completely finished until the visual is with it. So I like to see it to the end that way. It's
Now,
fun.
what's in your involvement with the videos? Are you doing the editing? Are you doing more of the directing? I've been able to direct a few, but as far as the editing on the computer, not my strongest. Too. Like, are
Well,
you editing too?
yeah, I've done some, but I have the best guy ever, who's also one of my closest friends, who is just a genius that way. And we work together on stuff, and then he comes in and just paints the whole thing. I tell him what my vision is. We go in there, do a little directing. Sometimes I do a little shooting. He gets his red out. We shoot. We do all the stuff, and then he puts all the magic together. He knows me well enough, and to know what I'm looking for, and then he just tags on his amazing creative abilities, and
Amazing.
I really dig it. Yeah, and some stuff I've done for other people, and but I'm not as good as he is. But
What's a dream photography gig for you? Like, if you could
ooh,
do anything, if you could shoot, I don't know, your favorite a band that you really dig. What's a dream photography gig?
well, I love live music photography because um, I love music, so obviously to shoot it, I'm feeling it the whole time, and I really feel like I'm in the moment when people are playing, and you can sense what's coming next, whether it's that guitar solo or that feeling in the artist. I love capturing those
Yeah.
live documentary
Yeah.
style moments. Um, I also like doing portraits of artists in their
Mm.
spaces and just trying to capture them uh, in those real moments. You know,
Mm.
uh, that would be I think my favorite is kind of being able to capture people more documentary style
Great.
for sure.
Yeah, let's talk about your record a little bit. I spent some time with it, and one thing I noticed about you, Deb, is you have different voicings that you draw upon, which I think is great. And I gotta check my notes, but Great Mother, I love that song. And in that chorus, is it the chorus? What is the lyric? And I was listening to it today. I'm like, man, she's really throwing her voice in like a vulnerable spot. And I love singers who do that. They take it into a place where, you know, it's just straight up coming from here. And the artist doesn't really know what they're doing, it's just coming out. And I think you have a moment like that. What's the chorus? I'm trying to think really quick. Um, oh, gonna catch us now, something like that. In is it Great Mother? Or no, I'm sorry, the North Folk. Fork.
Oh, yeah, the North Fork. Say
Yeah.
that fast. I want to hear you say that. I want you to hear you say the North Fork 5 times fast because
I
it's
will not.
hysterical.
Everyone who knows me well, my bandmates, you know, they will say he'll stumble. I won't. The
I didn't
North
think about that when
Fork.
I
I'm
said
gonna
it
I'm gonna
so
say it
hard.
once. That's all you're gonna get.
There,
But
it gets
in
bad.
that song, you kind of throw it a little bit. You took it in a region that I didn't hear previously. I thought that was fantastic. And are you cognizant? And you also have a very low register, which I found, and also a very bless her heart Loretta Lynn vibe
Oh,
to
thank
your.
you.
I'm hearing that primarily down the center, but then you have these up. You have a really nice low register, and then you have this vulnerable side. How do you pull upon that? Just depends on the song, or is there something that you're cognizant about that? How does that work for you?
First of all, thank you for noticing and bringing that up. It's interesting to hear what people think. I do feel like I fly by the seat of my pants and really do what I feel, depending on the nature of the song. And I really do love old classic country stuff, but I also like um, more eclectic avant-garde music as well. So sometimes I'll just do what I feel depending on the nature of the song.
Yeah,
So that's why in that record it is a little bit different. And I was wondering when we were doing it, I thought, God, how are we going to tie all of this stuff together? And my producer, Nick Capel, who's amazing, said, just don't worry about it. Just do what you feel.
yeah,
And I kind of stuck to that. I thought, this song feels like this, so I'm singing it like this. And this song feels like that.
yeah,
And somehow it all worked, but it is interesting. It's definitely an eclectic mix.
yeah.
I'm just doing what I feel at the time, and I don't think I'm doing it intentionally. I'm just doing what the story calls for
Great,
in the way I sing it,
great.
So.
Yeah, that's the answer I was looking for. I was testing because I think if you go into that world of, who was I watching? Neil Young. He said, yeah, if you think about it, it's going to be terrible, which I don't totally agree with. But he said, yeah, I don't think about anything. I just do it. And you know how Neil is. He's very crass. He's
Yes.
he's very crass. I don't totally agree with what he says, but he made a point. He's like, yeah, don't think about it, just do it. He's like, generally the things that you're not thinking about turn out good, or I'm the kind of guy that kind of edits a bit, but at the same time, I want to capture that lightning in a bottle. That's like, okay, I'm not touching it because the phrasing works. Maybe the lyrics are a little campy, but maybe it'll grow on me, and just let it be. And you learn to just let it be versus, nitpick it. I want to ask you, have you ever had that? How many times in your life have you had that moment, Deb, where a song just comes to you almost finished within the 2 minutes? I mean, a couple times in my life, some of the strongest songs that I think I've ever been a part of, just literally something just kind of floated through the room, and you're lucky just to grab on and go with it. How many
Yeah.
times that happened to you? Many times or a few times?
It's happened quite a few times, and I just call those gifts. I
Yeah,
just, oh,
yeah,
well, there's a gift, because literally in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, you have finished a song to completion, and there's really not a whole lot more. Changing it or trying to fix it makes it worse. And
yeah,
this was just a present. It was a gift
yeah.
from wherever, and
I agree.
yeah, I've had a couple of those, and when they're coming, and those are the writing times when all of a sudden, if I'm feeling that, and I sit down and go, okay, I just need to forget everything else that I'm doing, sit down and just see this all the way to the end. You can feel that. You can feel it coming on sometimes.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
sometimes when you write, or when I do anyway, I get started on something and I think it's awesome and I think it's going to be great. And then all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, for some reason it's just not working. And I have to put the thing completely aside, sometimes for a long time, and then
yeah,
pull it back out another time and come at it fresh. But there are those gifts that come that just set themselves right up. It's super easy. And I love that.
yeah. You like to, I personally like to work quick as well. I mean, it's like, for instance, in painting, mostly it happens not quite as much with songs, but with painting. If I leave a painting that I started 3 months ago, I'll go back and I was like, man, I've changed as a person. I'm not into that anymore. I'm not feeling that what came out of my hands anymore. I'm not into it. So I almost have to, songs aren't as much. I could still go back to a song, or I may just be bored of it and not think it's any good, but I can still tolerate it. But some
Yeah.
paintings, it's just like I'm just painting it over it because I don't. Do you like to work quick, or are you okay with it sitting around for a while?
Um, I mean, of course, I love it when something comes quickly and comes together and just feels natural and feels good because it feels good to play and then you can get excited about it. I do get frustrated when something is just kind of sitting there and I can never wrap my head around it. And
Yeah,
sometimes all you want from that song is a chorus, or all you want is the verse, or all
yeah,
you want is a bridge or something. And
yeah,
I've learned to kind of put those things aside and try not to get frustrated by them and come back, and that it's okay, that there's time to just keep going back and revisiting those.
mhm,
But I know what you mean about the whole canvas thing. I do that in photography from a visual perspective. um, I, you capture that thing, and there's something about it that just either works or it doesn't work. And I just
yeah,
bye bye, moving on. I've learned to get better at that. This isn't working. I'm moving on. If I'm
yeah,
not feeling it and just go with my gut that this isn't right, I've learned to get a lot better with just going, okay, moving on. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Let's keep going.
yeah. I think I've just kind of loosened up with myself over time just because I've had to. Because it can be, you can really, beat yourself up and say, oh, this isn't good enough, or you know, this isn't like that Beatles song I heard this morning at all. Not even close. You put your bar up so high, but I think the older you get and the more mature you get, you just in general in life, you just learn to just let it be.
Yeah,
Just let it
absolutely.
be and let it flow. Because a lot of times when you do that, not to get off on life things, but that's when things really happen. You just kind of just let it be, let it go. Or if you can do that with songs and say, okay, that chorus isn't coming, it's not working, the band doesn't like it, it can be better. And you just set it aside and you reset, recharge. You have new experiences in life. You wake up and you feel really good. Maybe that you step up and that, wow, there's that chorus. There it is. Wow. Okay, now it's complete. So it's okay to do that, I guess, you know?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's okay to do that with a lot of things, especially from a creative perspective, because
Yeah.
otherwise you get blocked, and I find you can't move forward or
Right.
make progress on something
That's
else.
no good.
You focus on the good stuff and keep the other stuff sitting over here and let it simmer for a little bit. I mean, that's what I do, and then come back at it when I have a fresh perspective, and try to stay in the light as much as you can.
It's like a leftover pizza. You don't have to eat it all at the same time, Deb. You put some in the fridge.
Yeah, too bad. I usually won't get through that pizza, and there's not a
Yeah,
lot
I'm
of
yeah, I've been guilty as well. So you want to perform a song? What do you think? You ready? You want to do a song for
Yeah,
us?
why not? Let's give it a shot over here on the old Zoom and see what
Let's
it
do
sounds
it.
like.
What are we gonna hear? We're gonna hear something from the North Fork.
Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna keep it simple since we're on
Hi,
the
Matt.
Zoom thing.
Hey, how you guys doing?
This
How
is
you
Matt,
doing, man?
Matt Littell, my live-in lover. Live-in
Yeah.
lover player. We were stuck together during the pandemic and it all worked out okay. We're still together, isn't that awesome?
Thank goodness, Matt. You're fantastic at Hotel Cafe for the
Oh,
record.
thank you very much. That was a great night.
I had my eye on you. You're ripping it. Pretty good.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was a beautiful night.
Thank you. Thanks for coming out. That was a really
I
super fun
loved it.
show, and lots of good people, good energy.
Yeah, it was great. I think I hung out with the whole gang while you're up there working. I was on the other side of the stage for a change.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was super fun, and a lot of good energy in the room, and
Yeah.
a lot of good people in one place, which makes me very happy.
Is that a Gibson, Matt, that you're playing? That's beautiful.
Yeah, is a 1955 ES 125.
Wow. Yeah, mine's not that old. It's a songwriter. So yeah, that's beautiful.
This has been to hell and back. The headstock's been broken off of it, but it's still kicking and doesn't make it out of the house too often. The Telecaster's a bit more durable, but
1950, you said? What year?
yeah, 55.
55. Wow. It's beautiful. Does it have a pickup too, Matt? Does it have a pickup? Oh, it does.
It came with originally a P90. It's got a Seymour Duncan humbucker in under a P90 shell, so it's less hum. But you know, it was already headstock had been broken off, and an aftermarket Bigsby was put on, so it was okay to kind of modify it. I wouldn't have butchered an original one, but it's a player.
Hey, man, sometimes you just gotta keep putting them back together like old Trigger, Willie Nelson's guitar, man. That thing,
Exactly. That
thing has been rebuilt. I don't think people realize how many times that it's been propped up. Trigger.
Yeah, I saw I think there was a Stuart Mack video on it where his tech that he brings it to every year was just like puzzling on the latest coat of shellac and glue to get it through the next year.
It's incredible, and the way it sounds, it's just only Willie can make it sound like that.
Yeah, he's got a strange setup with that Baldwin amplifier and that Prisma.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he uses an old solid state amplifier and this really bizarre Prisma tone, I think it's called, pickup, which was very peculiar for its age, and it's completely archaic right now, but obviously he doesn't need to change.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt, for being our tech portion of the show.
That's great. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, but Willie, I don't think he gets enough credit as a guitar player because he is a tremendous guitar player.
Yeah, no, he has got to, he's got a lot of jazz skills, which
Yes.
you don't hear that too often. It's he's definitely got the jazz background, which is, he's suffering a bit. His voice is amazing still. His guitar playing the last two times we've seen him, his hands, it's rough. But you look at the 70s and 80s stuff, and he's got these jazz licks, and it's really amazing.
I saw the last time I saw him was at Pantages, and he did a really short show, and I remember thinking, man, I wonder if Willie is just not happy with this Los Angeles crowd because it was very not very exuberant. And I ran into Jacob Dillon, who I know a little bit after the show, and I said, "Hey, Jacob, Willie played really short. Like, what do you was he upset?" And he's like, "No, he wasn't feeling well." But I was like, I really thought that he's Willie Nelson. He can walk. It's not like he slighted anybody. It just wasn't, it didn't seem like he was too thrilled. And I think he did 10 songs, but he's Willie Nelson. You do whatever.
He can do whatever the hell he wants to do.
Yeah. We'll watch. We've seen him a lot, and keep watching.
I saw him with Dylan on that. Did you guys see that tour that he did with Dylan in the minor league baseball parks? This would have been more than almost probably 10 years ago.
No, I didn't see that.
It was amazing. But anyway, let's talk about Deb Morrison. What are you gonna play for us?
Willie's a lot more exciting.
No, I don't know about that. That's subjective. What are you gonna play for us?
I'm just keeping it simple since it's just the two of us. Usually we have a pedal steel player and all that good stuff. So this is just called Jaded. It's on the album. It's a simple little ditty.
Yeah, I like this one.
All right. Shall we? Well, let's see what it sounds like over here on the old Zoom.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Sat by your place yesterday.
in her household, talked about everything. Black light posters, macrame coasters, we used to laugh about it all. Before you reach it, before you reach it out. Beat up Nova, sitting with you. Swore one day no way let it come. So right around the land, loud on the radio, so many years ago. Before you reach it out, before you reach it out, before you reach it out. Come back to when you started. Big dreams and empty pockets. Long before the big man took you down. Come back home, before you reach it out. Come back to where you started. Before the big man took you down. Before your tired eyes, plastic smile. Before the big man took you down. Before you reach it out.
Well done. Yeah, you know, I don't think the compression was an issue.
Oh, good.
Oh, I think that was great.
Crisis averted.
Yeah, hey, we did it, man. That was sounding great. I love that song. Did you go straight in with that one, Matt? With your guitar?
I am plugged into a Fender Deluxe Reverb in the corner over here, and we're just winging it.
Perfect.
Seemed to work.
Hey, these things aren't supposed to be like perfect. They're supposed to be a little raw. So
That's what gives it the
great.
flavor.
Wonderful. Nice work, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you. I will leave you guys be.
All
Great.
right.
See y'all.
Thank you so
Hey.
much.
See you soon, Matt. Thank you. So tell us about that song. That was a lead-off single, right?
Oh yeah. I think it was the fourth single before the album came out. It's called Jaded,
Yeah.
and it's about exactly that. Just big dreams and empty pockets before you were jaded, and
In big city.
in the big city or wherever you are, just to get back to where you started before.
Yeah. Well, I definitely don't want to forget about this, but I'm so excited for you guys to play the Electric Moon Foundation benefit, and with Tawny
Yeah.
and your Deb, Scarlett, Riviera. It's very exciting. Tell me now, I don't think Scarlett's in the Wild West, right? Scarlett is not, but tell me about how you guys.
Scarlett's an amazing
Yeah,
player.
she is.
Always so happy to have her play whenever she can do it.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. Tawny's awesome, and Amanda's great, and Scarlett's great, and we're really looking forward to that show, and
So honored.
to do it for a great cause, to raise some start the holidays off by raising some funds for
Wow.
these who really need music and arts in the school systems, and super stoked to be part of that.
Yeah, you guys have been amazing, and I've it's an honor because I've try to keep up with what's happening in the scene. I've been a fan of all you guys for a while now, and I know Tawny really well. We're quite close, but she kind of opened the door to you guys, and so it's an
Yeah.
honor to have you guys. Even with the Sunday Night Review, your prickly pear shows that you put on influenced myself with the Sunday Night Review. What was your experience with putting on those
Cool.
shows? What do you think?
Oh, thank you. Well, I loved your Sunday night review shows over at the hotel. I had a great time playing the Fleetwood Mac
Mm,
night. That was super cool, and I've seen many of them, and they're just really great. And you get a great crowd in there. It's a super cool vibe, and
yeah,
of course, Hotel Cafe is an awesome, venue to have it all
yeah,
at.
sure.
And what you're doing with Electric Moon is really inspirational. And
Thanks, Deb.
um, I've done a lot of stuff with different philanthropic entities to raise money for the arts and music and a host of other things. And so my hat's really off to you, because I know how much work it is,
Mm,
and it takes a lot of dedication and time and energy.
yeah.
Um, and so my hat, because it makes a really big difference.
And you have
Makes
very
a really
cool
big
hats.
difference. You have to start at the community level, and
Yeah.
it's very rewarding, but it really makes a difference in a lot of people's lives. So congratulations on making that happen, because I know it takes a lot of work.
Thank you, Deb. And you guys make it a lot easier. And it is a lot of work, but I'll make it very simple. I think, you know, I got into music to, you know, have some sort of commentary on the world, to heal myself, and to try to shine a light on others. And not to sound generic, but to, make this place a little bit better, and use the music and the art to as a vehicle to create change. And I just think it's a duty as an artist. If I'm going to call myself an artist, it's just part of my job. If I don't like the job, you could go be an accountant. You can do whatever. Actually, I couldn't do accounting because I'm not good with numbers. But you get what I'm saying. There's other occupations, but I think if to be an artist, it's just part of the gig, and it's just a part of the duty. And I had someone say once, you don't have to be Bono to create change. You don't have to
Yeah.
be. You can. So as things kind of built up and you get a little bit more of a platform, it's like, I'm gonna use whatever platform I have, and I hope it gets bigger, and so I can do more. I could, if I was Bono, I could do a show on Hollywood Boulevard, show up tomorrow, and have a ton of people pay to see it, and I could do more there in that way. So I think whatever platform you have, you know, you can create change. And these kids, these 4-year-olds, they don't know the difference between Bono or Arthur Autumn. They're saying, well, that guy's got cool hair. He seems like a rock star to me. I'm going to listen to him, and I'm going to get a guitar. I'm going to write songs, and I'm going to heal. So then you do your gig, then you do your thing. And I just think it's just, and I think as you mature, you gather up a little wisdom, and you've seen a few things, and you've done a few things, and it just seems like the thing to do, because my life was literally absolutely saved by rock and roll and music and art in me when I was, just like those kids. I still am, and I was lucky enough to have music inside of me that saved me, and I was able to do it. So I feel like I want to give back. It's like going through something scary. You go through it, you get through it, and then you can help somebody else get through that scary surgery. Or you meet you discover your favorite band, and you want to share that cool band with someone else, you know so it's just how I feel. I think just it's been so influential to me, Deb, that if some other kid that's hurting inside and confused gets a guitar and works it out and goes on to do great things and help other people, then I just think that's just what we should do. I think it's just part of the gig. It just feels right to do. So And it's
Well,
grateful to have people like you around.
thank you, and thank you for doing that. It does start in your own community and at small levels. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
You don't have to be Bono or anybody big to make a difference in a person's life.
That's right.
It's
Even a smile, just a smile, you know, walking down Hollywood Boulevard, just
yeah.
smiling at someone could literally take them off the ledge, you know.
I think it's important for people to remember that, and during
Yeah.
these times when things seem so divided, and that really just comes down to human connection and being able to help where you can, and people reaching a hand.
And
Tell me what you're going to play. What are you going to play for
I
tonight?
don't know. I think it might make something up.
Sweet Little Wonder? Are you going to play Everything?
Oh wow! Oh wow! I would need my capo for that one. You like that one?
Yeah, I do.
I will be playing it. I think I'll be playing on the 18th. So December 18th, Hotel Cafe.
Huh?
We'll be doing that. You guys are going to be performing. What do you? I kind of don't want to know what you guys are up to because I want it to be a surprise. So can you give me a little? Can you give people a little teaser of what you guys are going to be up to? How's it going to work?
Well, first of all, we're going to have a good time. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have Amanda Mosier, Tawny Ellis, Scarlett Rivera, and myself, and we're all playing a bunch of tunes and a nice, great song at the end with a bunch of awesome musicians, and we're just
Amazing.
gonna get in there and light the room up with some love and some holiday cheer.
Beautiful. It's such an honor to have you guys. Then we're gonna have Tiny Fires, Art Santora, and Kyle East. You're gonna love them, by the way. And
Yes.
Rain Stern.
Excited to see that. Excited to see them all.
Yeah, you know, that's what's so beautiful is part of the beauty of doing the Senate Review is, you know, or Prickly Pear, we get to meet amazing human beings. Excuse me. I'm getting ready to sing, and amazing artists and songwriters. So it's quite a thrill, you know.
It really is. It really is a special, cool thing. I enjoy doing that part of it a lot, you know.
Yeah. So this song, I think it's called Feel Love, and it's written for my last record, Your Heartbeat is Revolution. And I remember writing for this record, and it was a little bit more of a personal record. And then we saw everything happening with 2016 and what was coming and the election. And I stopped mid writing of this record, and I said, it's not the time to write about me. You know, once again, it goes back to, you know, commentating on what's happening in the world, you know. Pardon me. So it just didn't feel right to be writing about myself. So I think after the first verse, it became something totally different.
Cool. I can't wait to hear it. Bring it on.
Geez, Deb, so much pressure. I've been on vocal rest because I had a few days on the road, so I'll do my best to get through this. But so here it is.
I wanna know
When you run, where do you go? And when you run, what you running from? Yeah, I wanna feel love. Yeah, 'cause love is all around. Love is all around. You know, you're scared time when our leaders draw the line between right and wrong and divided you and I. Another smoke in the wheel, another light, and now we walk the line of tragedy and hope. And I thought we learned these lessons years ago. You can't split your fire. Yeah, but we won't go in. When you run, where do you go? And when you run, what you running from? Yeah, I wanna feel love. And it's love is all around. 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 Ah, thanks.
Hey!
What a lovely audience you've been.
Oh, thank you. I had like my own private little performance.
Yeah, and Matt upstairs maybe. Ah.
He can hear, I know. Anyway, that was lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Yeah, super fun.
Yeah, did you have a good time?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have to do it in person.
Yeah. Hey, really quick before we go, give me a couple of your favorite performers. I mean, I hear a lot of Loretta Lynn. Who's some of your favorites? Would you say?
Oh God, such a loaded question.
It is. I'm sorry.
It is a loaded question.
They have to be loaded, otherwise it'd be boring.
Right.
What do you think of Bessie Smith? You'd say, yeah, she's great, of course. Yeah.
Well, I guess the best way to describe that is like what's on my playlist, this week kind of thing, whenever I get asked that question, because I definitely have a myriad of tastes, I could be listening to jazz one day and something else the next. So
What'd you listen to today? How about that?
what did I listen to today? Okay. Today I listened to Tyler Childers.
Oh.
Love.
Yeah.
Let's see. I listened to Karen Ann. She's kind of a neo-folk Israeli French music.
Yes.
A lot of composing. I love that kind of thing. Let's see. Who else did I listen to? I listened to Jim Croce today.
Oh, I love Jim Croce.
Today. I'm not going to say it's any, I love everybody from, I love the songwriting of Glenn Campbell, and I love Whiskey Myers.
Love Glenn Campbell.
I love the songwriting of Bobby Gentry and the classic people. Everybody from John Prine to Brandy Carlisle, the typical stuff.
Love Brandy.
And I like the different stuff. Like, I love Gillian Welch. I love Serge Gainsbourg. I love that I think this year I've mostly been into 1960s, 70s French kind of pop folk
Oh, great. Like
vibe.
Stereolab French? I know Air
Like
is French.
Stereolab, yeah. I
Is
really
Stereolab
like,
French? They're French, aren't they?
you know, I'm not sure if they're actually French. They might be, but I find myself listening to that Karen Ann is the best way for me to describe that kind of very cinematic sound.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I really like writing things that have a cinematic feel to them, a little soundtracky,
Yeah.
and really listen to that a lot lately. Um, you know, yeah, that's kind of that's my playlist for the week.
Great.
This week.
I'm gonna randomly pick up some vinyls that are on the floor here. Let's see what we have. I'm a huge fan of Bing Crosby.
Oh,
I'm a huge fan.
which one is that?
Oh, this is Blue Skies.
Oh my
So
God.
it's a collection with Fred Astaire.
I
Actually.
love that. Well, that's very holiday, very
Yeah,
holiday.
yeah, this isn't actually holiday-ish, but obviously Bing is synonymous for that. And then what do
Yeah.
we have? Oh, this is do you know that Radiohead's latest?
Oh, Radiohead is, of course,
A
fantastic.
moon. This record is very stark and beautiful. It's a moon-shaped pool. So I've been listening to that, and then and then of course you got to have Jeff Lynne for songwriting, ELO in there, and
There you go.
he performed everything on this record. It's maddening. It's incredible. But
That is
anyway, yeah. But I also was listening to Public Enemy yesterday, so I kind of try to keep it as eclectic as possible,
Mhm.
from Patsy Cline to the Cramps,
Yeah,
and
I love.
everything.
I'm in the same boat. It depends on what mood I'm in, but definitely anything from, Tom Waits to Bonnie Raitt. I mean, it just varies depending on what mood I'm in. And then going back to the old classics, I love the Allman Brothers, Marshall Tucker
Yeah,
Band,
yeah.
old Southern rock. I like it all for different reasons depending on what I'm feeling at the time.
How do you think Tom Waits would do with the Sun Art Review? I love Tom Waits.
Oh,
How do you
you
think
get
it would
Tom,
do?
you get Tom on there and,
Well, no,
and give me a call. Give me a
I don't
call.
mean inviting him on the show. I mean,
Well, go big
I
or go
love
home.
that, but let's not be
Go big
delusional.
or go home.
That's true. That's a good point. Let's get Debbie Harry while we're at it.
Let's
Michael
get Debbie
Stipe,
Harry. I've got Debbie Harry right down here in a picture on my floor.
Michael Stipe, just pick up the phone. Hey, Mike. Do you call him Mike? You can't call him Mike. Oh my God. What you have to call him Mr. Stipe.
All they can say is no, and it can't hurt to ask. You
That's
let
true.
me know when you make that call.
That's true. But I love Tom Waits. I'm a huge fan. Yeah. That early stuff to the later stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I think it's been a great, wonderful show. It's about 8 o'clock here, but for closing, we want to remind everybody that we have a big Electric Moon Foundation benefit show. Deb is going to be performing with her dear friends Tawny Ellis and Scarlett Rivera, Amanda Mosier, and we have Tiny Fires, our good friend Art Santora and Kyle East and Rain Stern. And I also want to mention, before I forget, how influential and how lovely Amanda from Blackbird record label has been in partnering with Electric Moon. And if you can really quick, tell us a little bit about your experience with Blackbird. I mean, I talked to her just moments before setting up here, and she's been really great. And I'm so grateful for all you guys. What's your experience been with Blackbird? Tell us about the label a bit.
Oh God, just amazing. I couldn't think of a better pairing for my music or me as a human. Blackbird has just been so great, so supportive, so wonderful, and they're just good people,
Yeah.
and me, they just care. I mean, to me, it makes all the difference if somebody cares, and they always
Yeah.
put the time and effort, and they have such a love of music and such great experience. And I love Manda and Eric both, and it's just been a dreamy experience all the way around, and continues to be. So,
Great.
I'm really grateful and thankful, and I love those guys, and looking forward to the next thing coming up. And I'm so excited we get to play with them, and
Yeah.
it's just a lifelong friendship right there. So,
Yeah.
I can't say enough.
So she doesn't walk in a power suit and say, Deb, have a seat. Listen, I love you, but where are the hits? So she doesn't do that?
She does not do that. She always looks for the positive, and if she did do that, I would actually sit down and listen to what she had to say. Let's put it that way. She came up to that where I would sit down and say, let me think about that one.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you guys are all great songwriters in your own right.
thank you.
Tawny's newest record, and
Yeah,
I've
she's
heard.
amazing too. Tawny's amazing. Scarlett's amazing. The band is amazing, and I'm just happy to be in that good company. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for letting me tag along for a bit.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It wouldn't be happening. We wouldn't be doing this show if you wouldn't have asked us. So we're super excited about it.
It's going to be great. And then one other thing, I want to invite you as well to the kids program. So we've been partnering with Alexandria House for the most part. I think you're on their radar. They've been really wonderful to us, and we've been working with the kids through the summer camp, and now we're doing like a holiday program. So we're going to have a concert December 15th with the kids. It's open to the public. So if you want to kind of, get insight on how we write holiday songs together and things like that, it's going to be beautiful. And Alexander House is doing some great work. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but
I am very familiar, and they're great.
Yeah,
great.
so
They work hard over there, and they do a lot of good. So
yeah, every time
where's that concert at?
It's going to be at Alexandra House at 5 o'clock, December 15th. So a few nights before our benefit together, and it's open to the public. People are welcome to join us, and I invite you guys as well.
Thank you. Are the kids singing?
Yeah, the kids. I tell the kids, hey, listen, guys, they don't want to hear me sing. They want to hear you guys sing. So sing really loud. So we're doing, the whole idea was to do a multicultural, multilingual program for the kids, and we kind of went through, okay, this is what this means in this Kwanzaa song, and this is what this Hanukkah, what we're saying in this Hanukkah song, and in these Spanish songs. So we wanted to, have little bits of different cultures, so that these kids can be like, yeah, I know what menorah is now, and I know what Sevian is, and where the eternal flame came from, and some background of like, know what you're singing, guys. Because that's what comes through in your heart. You sing what you feel and what you know about. So that's been kind of fun to do that, and doing some songs in Spanish just a little bit, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Well, that's always, you can't go wrong with kids singing. They get me every time. So
no, it's amazing. We're doing John Lennon's Happy Christmas, and that was a Harlem children's choir that sang on the chorus. So yeah, they're singing it so loud and beautiful, and they're amazing kids, and it's just been a tremendous honor to be able to work with them and get to know them, and it's just real grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, it's you're giving them a gift, and they're giving you one back. So
yeah,
happy holidays to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Deb, so much for being on the show. I hope you've had a beautiful time, and you have a little inspiration in your heart, or you feel very good or whatever. But thank you for performing as well.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having us, and I'm grinning from ear to ear. So super fun, and super excited to see all the stuff that you're doing and you keep doing. And I'm a fan, and support any way I can. So thanks for taking the time to come into my humble abode here and bringing me on.
Yeah, and really quick before we go out, are you working? Tell your fans. Are you working on anything new right now? Are you what's next?
Yeah, well, the album came out September 9th, and now I'm working on the next one. So
There you go.
We'll just keep that train rolling.
What's it about, Deb?
Oh, what's it all about? It's you'll find out. It's
Okay.
a little bit more on the happier side, than a little more rocking than the last one, which is a little bit more melancholy.
Great.
We'll see. We'll see what it turns out to be in the end. But I'm good. I'm a good 6-7 songs in. So
Wow.
and I'll have the next album out, and we'll get started on that one. So I'm just
Great.
having fun doing it. I'm just grateful that I can do it and
Yeah.
keep it on.
Yeah. Now 6-7 songs in, that's typically when I would start developing a title. Do you have any sort of titles jotted down in your notebook yet? Curious.
I have a lot of things jotted down, but nothing I would say out loud yet. But
She's holding back, folks.
we'll see.
She's
You know,
keeping
it's
it
all
tight.
a work in progress, and I'm just
Great.
being in the moment and writing what I feel like, and see how it all turns around.
It's gonna be beautiful. I can't wait to hear it.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing and all you do. And gosh, I guess we'll see you on Saturday, December 18th.
Yeah.
Did I get that date right?
One more time. 7 o'clock, Tiny Fires. I believe they're going to be our guest next month. So stay tuned for that, folks. And then they're going to let me do a set at 8 o'clock. And then we have the lovely Deb Morrison with Tawny Ellis, Amanda Mosier, Scarlett Rivera. You guys are the 9 o'clock slot, right? Right after Arthur Autumn. And then we have Rain Stern at 10 o'clock. So we hope you guys can join us. Head on over to electricmoon.org. And we hope that we see a lot of you guys out there. And once again, Deb Morrison, it's been an honor to have you. And thank you so much. And we'll be seeing you soon.
Sounds good. Can't wait.
All right. Good night, everybody. Be good. This will be up on the Electric Moon podcast soon. Thank you to Mike Austin at XMLA for helping us launch and get everything going. It's a true honor to work with all of you guys, and we'll see you next time. Be good, be nice to each other, and it's really easy to do. And bye.